Looks like we are live. Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. My lighting just got really weird right when we went live. It wasn't like that before, right, Lucinda? So, Happy New Year, everyone. I'm DePelch Magruder, the founder of Mob United. So excited to be here with you all this morning. We'll give people a few minutes to join the stream, but we're very excited to be here for what I realize is our ninth annual vision board party with Lucinda Cross, which is amazing. It's a blessing. We started out in person the summer of 2017, not summer, spring of 2017, when we first met in person, and we've been doing this ever since. And I just want to thank you for sticking with us because this is such a powerful way to start the new year, and I wouldn't want to do it any other way. We're doing it at the beginning of February this year, which I think is fitting given that it's Black History Month, and certainly part of my vision for the future is to preserve Black history, which is in jeopardy right now. So I
Yes,
think it's fitting.
yes.
I just want to check to make sure we're live. Just doing a tech check. Yes, we are live. Okay, so excellent. So before we get started, hopefully many of you have done this before. We're going to take you through creating, which will then manifest things in your life that you envision for yourself, for your sons, for your whole family. And I just have to say, on a personal level, this year is a little challenging for me. As I come into this with a lot more clarity on what it is I want to envision for my life and what I want to do. Um, Looks like Lucinda just fell off, so hopefully she'll rejoin in a minute. But this year is a little challenging because 2025 is shaping up to be let me add you back. There we go. Okay. So, Lucinda, I was just saying, usually I come into this process with a little more clarity, with my images selected, but I was really struggling this year because 2025 is shaping up to be quite a year already. We're only 1 month in, but it just feels like there's so much uncertainty and so much change and transition wherever I turn. So, change and transition in the world, change and transition in our country. I'm going through a leadership transition at work. We're going through transition in Mob United, and there's lots of change and transition in my personal life. So I'm used to dealing with kind of issues in different categories, but this year, wherever I look, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of change, and there's a lot of uncertainty. So it's challenging for me to create vision in the midst of chaos, I will say, but we're going to try. And if anybody can help me do that, I know it's you. So thank you again for being here. I do want to acknowledge that our executive director, Kimberly Robinson Alexander, is in the midst of transition. She is leaving the organization. She's starting her own consulting firm called Be Empowered, providing a range of services to organizations. So I want to encourage you all to check that out and just thank her for her service and her time and for all of her many contributions to Mob United. We are grateful. But that does mean that Mob United is also in a bit of a reset and looking for a new vision. So I'm going to use this session not just for my own vision and my vision for my family, but to think about the organization. And we really want you all to engage with us in that and help us to figure out what we need to be in this moment. This is a very different moment than when we started in 2016 in terms of what's happening in the world. So we really need you to help us engage and figure out what we need to be and how we need to show up for our community right now. So I wanted to say that. Before I turn it over to Lucinda, good morning, Lisa. So good to see you. Um, Before I turn it over to Lucinda, I just wanted to also share, just as I went downstairs to get my morning coffee, and I was frustrated because I couldn't find the coffee pods. I use a Keurig. I couldn't find coffee, and I was, scrambling to meet Lucinda, and so I just grabbed some tea right quick instead. And in grabbing that tea, I realized that the tea was purchased in the Hong Kong airport, and it connected directly
Mm,
to my vision because a year ago in this very session, one of the things on my vision board was that I wanted to travel to Asia last year, and I ended up traveling to India, Indonesia, United Arab Emirates, and China in the course of 2024, which was in my vision board. Now, I'm very fortunate I have a job that enables me to travel globally, but it doesn't always work out in terms of the timing and the places I want to go. So even in the selection of the tea, it was a moment that just reminded me how powerful this process is because you set your intentions. And I'm also going to Japan soon. So I just wanted to share that. I also had on my vision board last year, I wanted to try online dating, which I did. Um, Grand opening, grand closing on that one, not so great. but Asia was great. So
I was gonna say, how is that?
not so great. I can't say I had the same experience on that one, but I tried it. So I did fulfill the vision of the vision board. Um, don't think it's the best way to meet people, but I digress. So on that, I want to turn it over to the wonderful, amazing chief activator, visionary, vision builder. We need a drum roll. Lucinda Cross, take it away.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Listen, I love this devotion. I just love being here. This is our ninth year. This is a big year. And
Yeah,
next year we have to celebrate.
I know we're gonna do
Hopefully
it. We're doing it in person next year, right?
right. We're gonna have to do a hybrid, yes, for live and
Yeah.
virtual. So, welcome Mob United. I am just, this is, yes. Is it challenging and transitional times? Absolutely. And you see it everywhere you go. One thing I'm saying now is, let's look at the fact, before I even get started, let's look at the fact that I said, if we are seeing all of these Goliaths, there's a David somewhere, right? And so if you know the story of David and Goliath, with David, all he had, a young boy, crown king, didn't even know yet, and he had to fight off this big giant. We are faced, there's so many Goliaths rising up from all different areas. And it's like, there's a David somewhere, and that David may be you and your mission. It may be Mob United. It may be an organization you support. It may be your work, just our strength. Let our David be the faith to know that things, we still have control and we still can knock out some Goliaths, right? By standing together. So in that, just saying, if there's some Goliaths showing up, there's some Davids, and Davids is coming with faith, and David's is coming armed up and ready. So on that note, let's go into our vision board session. Woo! Big, big, big deal. So something we're going to do different this year. And it's funny with Deposha talking about transition. There's an exercise that I do every year with you all, but this year I really just want us to focus on intentions. And so if you have your pen, your paper, your markers out, because this is something you can work on afterwards, I really want us to set the intentions for this call. And I hope that everyone is okay with that. I promise you it'll be good. So here I have my super big vision board that I work on every year, right? And I just readjust it. But on this board, I have faith, family, friends, finances, fitness, and fun. Faith, family, friends, finances, fitness, and fun. And so what we're going to do is break down the intention for each area. What does it look like? Let's get clear on it. And let's at least have a start of our intentions as we create our vision boards for ourselves or with our beautiful Black boys, right? And yes, we are still celebrating Black History Month, right? We need, although we are Black all year, we still are going to celebrate the awesomeness of Black History Month. And so in starting with faith, write faith down. Under faith, I want you to think of three set intentions you want to make pertaining to your faith. Three intentions you want to create for your faith for this year. What does that look like? So if you're putting down, if it's, getting closer to God, praying more, write down those three things right now. What are the three things pertaining to faith that you want to set a vision and an intention for 2025? I'll give you a few seconds to work on that. Now, after you set those specific intentions, I want you now to break those down. You have those three. So now I want you to put down, what does that look like? Be very specific. So if you said getting closer to God, what does that look like? Be very specific. Does it mean you will 3 times a week, you're going to get up at 5 a.m. or you're going to be intentional about reading your word, or you're going to sit down and pray with your children 3 times a week? You're saying, this is what is that closer to God activity, that action step that'll go towards that specific intention. So each intention should have a specific action step. And it should be clear, nothing broad, nothing just, hey, it should be very clear. 3 times a week, we'll do this. If it's pray more, then you're going to be very specific. If it's focusing more on having more faith than fear, what does that look like? That maybe that looks like, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there and not be afraid anymore of what people think or what they say. What are those set intentions for each specific goal when it pertains to faith? Each one should have at least one specific thing. Now, after you do that specific action step, there's the intention, there's the action, and now the steps that you're going to take in doing that. Getting closer to God. Okay. Action step, praying 3 times a week. Action, praying 3 times a week. The steps, now you're saying 7 o'clock, I'm designating for the next 30 days. I don't care what's going on at 7. I don't care where I'm at. If I have to pull over into someone's parking lot, if I have to walk out of the restaurant and go sit in my car, this is what I'm setting my intention to do. I have an action to go towards it, and I'm staying diligent and committed to the step, no matter where I am, if possible. So what is that specific step? Intention, action, step. Intention, action, step. Now that's for the faith. This is the one I love the most, is family. When we look at family for your vision, and so let me take 2 steps back. After you have completed that intention, action, and step for faith, for your vision board, for your prayer board, now when you begin to start cutting out images and affirmations and words, you put it down based off of the steps that you've taken, and what does closer to God look like for you? What does whatever you put for faith, meditate more, what does that look like for you? Is that a woman sitting there with her legs folded on the beach? Does it look like going to a mountain and you're actually there and you're like, oh, I'm breathing this mountain air? What is that thing? What is those images that'll connect to that? And that's what you'll focus on after creating the intention, the action, and the step. So one thing that we know based off this transition that we're all going through in 2025, and if you're anything like me, you know that last year wasn't too sweet. And maybe for some of you, the year before hasn't been too sweet. So now we have to switch up our approach, right? We have to switch up our approach. And that's why we're being extremely intentional when it comes to this vision. Don't give up the vision no matter how tough your transition is. Child going to college, child in an unfortunate situation in prison, child starting a new school, filling out for an IEP, realizing that your son may be on a spectrum, whatever that thing is, whatever that transition is, a new job, a new relationship not working well, job not working well, whatever this transition is, you don't give up on the vision and you don't stop setting intentions. That's all we have. That's all we have is our intentions. And that's all we have is for us to keep showing up no matter what. The next one is family. What is the intention with family? What do you feel that you need to do more of when it comes to your own family? What do you need to do more of? What would you like to do again? What are some things that worked before for your family? What are some things you would like to instill in your family, in the values? So I'll give you an example. For family, say you said, I want us to have more quality time, less tech time. More quality time, less tech time. Now we know that this day and age, the phone is probably a part of their hand. If the kids have a hand, they have a phone. So it's like the same thing. You don't see the hand without the phone. I told my daughter, I said, I don't even know what the palms of your hand look like. I just know what your knuckles look like. All I see is your knuckles. I told my son, between the video game, the basketball, and the phone, I just know what the fists look like. Can I see your hands? Do you have lines in your hands? Or is there some numbers? Right? And so if it is tech time, if it's more quality time with your family, and that is the intention, to have more quality time with your family, it's okay to take small steps. So now you set the intention. What's the action? The action may look like, you know what? We're going to start a tradition. Once a month, one kid can pick a date night. And we all have to do it whether we like it or not. If it's going to make slime, that's what we're doing. If we're going roller skating, that's what we're doing. But once a month, we are coming together and we're doing at least one activity, whether it's watching a movie in the house, whether it's going to take a walk, whether it's going to rent out bikes. So setting that intention. And so now after that, what are the steps? Intention, action, steps. This is how we are going to make this vision extremely clear. Write the vision and make it plain. This is how we're going to make it extremely clear. And so now, after you put down your action, the steps towards, for example, more quality time with your children, that may look like, you know what, we're going to set aside the third Tuesday of every month. We know that T-Mobile has their specials, or we know that movie night, in some places in the world, movie night is discounted on Tuesdays, right? And so, you know what, we're going to go watch a movie, whether it's good, bad, we just go, this is us. This is what we do. Once a month, on a Tuesday, we watch a movie, but find a specific, now you begin to set an intention on when you're going to do this and stick to it. So what is that, family? It could be, you know what, once a month, we're sitting down and we're talking about our finances. We're talking about where we are as a family. We're talking about who needs help with school, who's not listening, who's rebelling, what's going on. We're having a family meeting and it's open. No one's getting in trouble. No one's going to get on punishment. We're having a family meeting to discuss what's happening in this household. What do we need to know? How do we need to support one another? So it could be simple as having, not simple, because that could be tough, but simple as having a family meeting. And if you have kids away at college, they have to Zoom in, right? And so what is that set intention for family? It could be go see grandma more. Okay, spending more time with the elders. That's the intention. What is the action? The action is, you know what, making that time to call grandma, listen to her stories and share. Then the steps could be, you know what, we're going to make sure if we are not able to go visit grandma often, or we're not able to visit the elders often, that we find a way to call and everyone's on the line and we all hop on and we're like, hey, what's going on? Or grandma just needs you to pray over us. Grandma just needs you, or we're going to send her some dinner. We're going to send her Uber Eats, So it's quality time can be spent in so many different ways. And if there is trauma or drama in your family, right? If there's trauma, drama, challenges, transitions, this is the perfect time for you to set an intention for your family to say, we have to look at this. Something is going on. Sometimes if we don't know what's going on in our household, right, we are wildly affected by not knowing. We're wildly affected by not knowing what's going on. I don't care if the kids, listen, I have a 14-year-old and I'm like, Zaire, how's school? Fine. What you do? Nothing. How's today? Great. What did you learn? Same old stuff. So I know what it's like to try to pull teeth out of these kids. But I do know one thing, just having his presence at the table with his short words makes a big change. And then I'm able to look at his brothers and sisters or his cousins and say, listen, I need y'all to do a deep dive and talk to him. He needs someone to talk to. You don't necessarily have to come back and tell me and do the snitching, stitching. But if it's anything that I should be aware of, let me know, but talk to them. And this way, we all are aware of what's going on and we're able to provide support and level. So it's not a matter of just sending Zaire to therapy. You're going to go to therapy with your brother. He's going to go with you. Your sister's going to show up with you, right? And so it's now adding a level of support for your child. And here's the thing, what I had to do for Zaire, because he's the youngest, I had to build a village. One of my goals, on my vision board many years ago, I said, because I have two oldest, and Zair's younger. I have to create a village for him. And by creating a village, I had to find people, a village of people that can support him outside of me, outside of dad, outside of grandma, grandpa, right? So he didn't have the luxury of growing up with his grandma. Grandpa was, kind of too far off, but I had to create a village for him. And that village included a school counselor, someone at the barbershop. His dad owns a shop, but not even his dad. Someone at the barbershop, someone at the Boys and Girls Club, finding, his coach from his basketball, the sports that he was in. So I had to literally create a village for him outside of the fact that I had prayer warriors and prayer sisters and, the aunties that's around just in part of your life. I had to create a village for him because I just couldn't do this. I couldn't do this alone. And especially with, him not wanting to communicate and open up to me and his dad, and him being what we call the space baby. It's such a big gap between age. I had to create a village for him. And that village wasn't necessarily the family, but it was a village that he trusts and village he can go towards. So when it comes to your family, write down what is the goal? What is your intention? What's the action? And what's the steps? And if you feel that you need a village, look around. You'll be surprised. You have people, a part of your child's village that you didn't even realize were a part of it, right? That you didn't even realize that they are there to support. And as much as you can get them involved in certain things, I'm telling you, when I would say, listen, coach, can you talk to him about his grades? I'm talking to the security guard. Surprise, surprise, didn't realize my son had a great relationship with the security guard at his school. So when I would see the security guard, they're doing the dap up, they're doing the fist bumping, they're doing the cracking the jokes. Oh, you coming in here with the drip? I said, he's with my child every day, all day, outside of the teachers. He knows what's going on in the school. He knows who's doing what. And him and my son seem to have a good relationship. That's someone that's part of his village. And that's someone you can lean in. You know how many times I had to show up to school, not because Zaire was in trouble, but just because I just wanted to, hey, can you talk to Zaire about such and such and such? He's not doing so good in this. He's not focused over here. He's too busy worried about the girls here. Can you talk to him about? And so that was a huge help. A huge help. So sometimes your village is within your community. If it's in your church, sometimes it's in your church. Sometimes it's, like I said, the security guard at the school. And sometimes it's going to mentorship, getting a big brother, big sister program. Sometimes it's someone that you'd be surprised, someone at your own job, right? So it's having that village. So are we done with that so far? Did you set a family intention? Family meeting, family time, family vacay, family conversation, family wealth table, creating a village, whatever it is. Set that intention. What are the actions? What are the steps? And now when you begin to cut and paste, you're going to cut and paste based off of what that looks like. So whether you find an image of a family sitting around a table and you're putting that up there, this is the vision of where I'm trying to go, God. I want to see us sitting at this table eating and smiling and, going and talking about all the things, right? A family dynamic is crazy. There's the ups, there's downs, but there's also family that's blood and not blood. And there's families that you just adopt into your family. And sometimes you're adopted into other families. Surprise, surprise, sometimes you have to realize that you need to be a part of someone else's family and village so your kids can have the village. And so you as a mom can have a village. Moms need village too. So don't be afraid to put on your vision board. If your thing, and we're working on family, is to say, I need to build a village for me. You're a part of Mob United here. You have a village. It's about tapping in even deeper. You see someone on there who has a child the same age as yours, tap in deeper. 9 times out of 10, we all going through the same thing. And sometimes I didn't feel like I belonged because my kid wasn't the greatest scholar and he wasn't getting all the A's, but I was able to find family within a network to say, how are you supporting your child How are you still celebrating and encouraging your child without feeling bad that your kid is not doing all the A's and the top of the class and the sum cum laude things, right? I didn't have that kind of kid. My son, we was just like, whoa, we barely making it, baby. But I had to celebrate his small wins. Oh, you brought that C to a B. That's great. Oh, wow, you showed up and you did your assignments on time. Oh, look at your book bag. You put your papers in the folder. Everything's not crumbled up. I had to start celebrating small wins with him, and those things matter. So, are we done with family? I just need to see a thumbs up. Thumbs up. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Yes. Celebrating the small wins. And that can also be a part of your family intention. Let me celebrate the small wins. Let me show them how everything is not a complaint and a bother. Let me be present. Sometimes it's a stressful day and I really don't, but let me be present just to hear about all the craziness. My daughter calls me from college and I'm like, but I listen. I want her to talk to me and get the advice instead of someone who hasn't been through anything. Right. And I know she cherishes those moments, but let's go. So we did family, and here on my board, I have family and friends. So you can put your friends up there too. The next one is we did faith, we did family, and include your friends in there too. Like I told you, you need a village. You need a village, mom. Faith, family, friends. So now friends. I think that goes into what I talked about with family. Same process. What is the intention for your friends? Whether you have 1, 10, many, few, small network, it doesn't matter, right? What matters is the fact that you're able to at least count on someone, contact someone, share some laughs and cries, pray, sometimes cuss with, right? Y'all may go to church, y'all may twerk, whatever y'all thing is. But how can we be even more intentional with the vision of our friendships and understanding that someday, one day, one of us may not be here. So how can I enjoy this friendship while we're both breathing the same air, maybe in different spaces? And even if it's just a random act of kindness, it could be a card. Hey, I heard she was having a rough day at work. You know what? Let me give her a call. Let me send her some lunch. By the time she gets home, let me say, hey, here's something from Drizzly. I got you a bottle of wine from Drizzly. It's on its way. It'll be there by 8:00, right? Or even if it's not anything that costs money, it's just a matter of how are we showing and how are we receiving? What maybe your intention and your vision is to be supported, celebrated, and loved on. Right. And so, or maybe this is what you want to give. So in looking at that, I hope y'all don't hear my dishwasher. I don't know why I did this. I don't know what this is Mom United for real. This is mom life. I don't know why I decided to do dishwasher before the call. But anyway, we're going to get back to the intentions, right? So with your friendships, you don't hear it, great. So with your friendships, how can you be even more intentional? Do you want to add to your friends list? Do you need to remove from your friends list? Are there some things you need to show up for and set intentional dates and a vision for? Do y'all need a vacation? Or how about you being a better friend to yourself? Do you need a solo trip? So when it comes to our friends, how are we showing up? Who do we need to forgive? Who do we need to love on? I see someone said, no new friends, just love on the ones I have. I love it. But who do you need to love on? Who do you need to celebrate? Who do you need to call? Who do you need to forgive? Right? And so when it comes to your friends, set that intention of what that looks like, spending more time with my friends. And not something that you feel that is taking and draining you, but something that is adding to who you are and adding to the people that you love and appreciate. What's the action step? The action step is I'm going to make sure that just one of my other friends, all we'll do is just send morning prayers back and forth. That's our friendship. Love her dearly. That's it. That's the extent of our friendship. But it's just the response of amen, glory, heart. This was good. Thank you. And those prayers come through and hit at the right time. So setting those actions is key. And then what's the steps? What's the steps to whatever that intention and vision is that you have for your friends? We're going to do an annual trip. We're going to do a camping trip. We're going to have a night over. I'm going to start opening up myself some more and not seem so busy and tired. Sometimes we're tired and fatigued because we haven't invited what fuels and feeds our energy. And we're just accustomed to going and going and going and going and moving about life and moving about day to day and giving more of our energy to work, more of our energy and work to, more of our energy and joy outside. And we're not being fueled in. So if that is you, for your friends list, those friends may be your fuel. You may not be so fatigued. Y'all may be going to salsa dances together. Take up a class. Y'all may just hop on a FaceTime. Y'all may say, you know what, let's go take a walk. I'm walking, you in DC, I'm in New York. Let's go take a walk Saturday morning. I'm getting on my treadmill, you get on your treadmill. Sometimes the fueling is opening up yourself and saying, I'm not too tired to go. I'm too tired to go, but I'm too tired to go because I need to be fueled up. And I've allowed everything and everyone else absorb me. Let me be a part of something that fuels me. So set that intention and then look at what's the action steps. I'm going to go out at least once a month. I'm going to do one little outing. I'm going to tell her, you know what? Hey, let's go do this. Right? And then there's the steps. Now that's faith, family, friends, finances, where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money reside. Let's talk about this money. Let's talk about the finances. So what is your intention and the vision financially? Is it to make more money? And if we look at it, what's the three main keys when it comes to that? Is it to make more money, clear some of your debt, and save some money? Is it to make more, clear some of your balance, and save more or invest? Those are cool. That's a good three intentions, three visions. The overall goal. What's going to help you celebrate that? So what is the main focus right now when it comes to your finances? A lot of people say debt-free. Debt-free, I don't know if that's even something that we can say, well, I'm debt-free, because we always have a level of debt, right? Somebody's got to get paid something, right? Somebody's got to get paid something. But what if we're in a position where debt is not to our detriment, where debt is something that we embrace because it just adds, and we're able to improve, and we're able to clear and balance our debt, where our debt to investment ratio, maybe we have low debt, good debt, right? And then we have great investments and a nice money funnel working through. But what does that look like? That's the key, because I hear it all the time. I don't care how many vision boards I do. I hear it all the time. Lucinda, I just want to get out of debt. I just need to. And I said, well, what does that look like? What's the credit score you're desiring to go after? How much are you seeking to save every month? What's going to happen towards the end of the year? What does that savings look like? On top of that, during the savings, what kind of savings do you want? Money market, Bitcoin? Are you doing stocks? Are you doing, what kind of investments are you willing to make? Because that's also part of the savings. It's a risky one, but that's also part of savings. So in your savings plan, is it now you're getting more involved in different investments? Is your financial goal to get a multifamily? Is your financial goal to be able to support your child with their final school year? Is your financial goal to be able to have at least 3 months mortgage paid off in advance already, saved up? So what I always recommend for finances, no matter what your financial goal is, whether it's supporting improving your credit, balancing your debt, making more money, having this big goal of saying, you know what, I need this $200,000 job. I need this raise, but what kind of raise? 20%, 15%, 30%? Set that clear action and intention. And so it doesn't mean that now, if it's finances, that you're scaling back. One of the biggest bills, and I'm embarrassed to say, one of the biggest bills that I have right now is eating out. Oh, you want to go grab some sushi after a game? Oh, you want to go buy Crumble and get some cookies? A 3 little mini Crumble cookies is $15. When I could have went to the supermarket, I got cookies in the house that I got 3 for $7, and 3 packs for $7 that'll last him the whole month. Hey, Zaire, do you want to go to? But knowing if I have a savings goal, that means certain things I have to skim back on. I spend a lot of money eating out because I love, I see them now. I'm not giving up eating out. Listen, I spend a lot of money eating out. And so I just may need to scale back if I have a specific goal, if that's your thing. I see them now talking about, I'm not giving up eating out. I said the same thing as I started the dishwasher. I said, you know what? I think for February, I don't feel like doing no dishes. I really don't. But, so what is that financial intention, that financial vision? And it's okay to even include the family in it. Hey, here we are. Light bill is this. Wi-Fi is that. Cell phones is this. How can how are we going to scale back? This may mean maybe getting, something's got to pull back, or maybe we just need to make more money. I don't like to lower my, what I love to do. So my thing is I need to make more money. So it's not so much, for those who say I'm not cutting out eating out, so then I need to eat more money. I need to make more money. So if your financial intention is to make more money, how much more money do you need to make to be able to sustain your pleasures and the bills and the extras that come up? How much more you need to make? And when you know that number, say it's, listen, I need to make an extra $7,500. That right there, I'm able to still enjoy the things I love to enjoy, still add to my savings, still add to my splurging. But now to get that extra, is it a promotion? Is it now adding a side hustle? Is it now looking at ways that you can, what else can I do to add income in my home? That's where the steps come in. What are the steps you're going to make? Is it sitting down and talking to a financial advisor? Is it showing up and trying to talk to someone from the Small Business Association? Is it doing research on side hustles? Is it looking back and saying, what gifts and talents do I have that I can use to increase? Is it going through that closet and saying, I can open up a Poshmark account because I will never be wearing these dress or shoes again? Where's the extra funds coming from? And so now it's looking at the steps. You set the intention for your finances, whatever it is. Now you're looking at what's the action you need to take in order to reach that set intention. And then what are the steps you're going to start? And then on your vision board, you're going to put what that's going to actually look like. We have to be intentional. So we did faith, family, friends, finance, drum roll for fitness. All right. I'm not asking, and I had to be honest with myself, I'm not going to get Beyonce's waistline. Okay. So for fitness, knowing, and I'll use this true story, knowing for me for fitness is not so much me lying to myself every year, setting I'm going to get that summer body and working on it in the winter. That wasn't me. But for me, I had to look at it and say, what is going on in my bloodline that I need to pay attention to? My mother passed from heart disease. My father passed from heart disease. I need to focus on what this heart disease is and get ahead of the game. So fitness for me is looking at understanding my blood type, eating according to my blood type, going to the doctors that I need to go to, finding out as much information as I possibly can so that I can live a healthy, long life. So for me, every year with fitness is what can I do to help boost my heart? Are the foods I'm eating adding to boosting my heart? Am I taking the right vitamins? Do I need to be taking this? I might be taking this, and that's the wrong thing for me to do. So it's being very strategic on my heart space. Now, that's just me with fitness. Another thing for fitness is at least being active. I was, as someone who works remote and runs my business remote, and the only time I show up is if I'm on stage or doing a training or something like that, or advocating. It's very comfortable sitting back. I mean, your girl got real comfortable with pulling up the laptop, and I'm on the couch and I'm like, until I got to get to the Zoom. But, it's so I have to be physically active. And so that meant for me to find something I enjoy doing fitness wise. And fitness wise, that meant, you know what? I do like riding a bike. Let me go get a bike and start riding my bike. And when the weather's not good, what am I going to do? Let me have steps in my house. Let me make sure I take some time out to walk up and down these steps. Let me make sure I take some time out if I do go to the gym, just to get on the elliptical, just to do 40 minutes. And that's it. I'm not sitting there trying to lift dumbbells and wait. Not take your time, Lucinda, ease into it. So what is your fitness? Your fitness vision can be as simple as whether it's losing inches on your waist, being intentional about what you eat, making sure you check your numbers, understanding what's in your family bloodline, making movement every day, getting your kids involved. This is where you can blend your family and your fitness together, right? And so while my son used to be at basketball games, I said, you know what? Let me go walk. And this is when he was, outside. Let me walk around the track. Let me go take a walk while he's doing his basketball game, right? And so it's just as simple things as that, and coming up with ways that feed you. Do you like roller skating? Great way to get into fitness. Do you like fruit smoothies? Way to get into fitness. Do you like dancing, salsa dancing, Zumba, African dance? Go try out a class. Go to Groupon. I'm good for going to a good Groupon and getting a good Groupon and saying, okay, $30 and I get 6 sessions of this Zumba or this African dance or even this belly dance. Sure will. And you have all shapes, sizes, and colors there. But it's just something to keep you active, to give your body a wake up and tell your muscles, hey, we're still here. We're working. We love you. What's your fitness? Some things are working and some things are not working. Set that intention. Look at the steps that you're going to take. You know what? I'm going to do something 3 times a week, twice a week, 20 minutes a day. And then the action steps. What are you going to do for those 20 minutes a day? What are you going to do for those 15 minutes a day? I'm going to do 25 crunches and I'm going to do 25 squats. Okay, great start. And I'm going to do this 3 times a week. Great start. So now you set the intention and the vision. Now you have the action. And now you have the steps. And the steps could be as simple as the action is 15 minutes a day of just physical fitness, some type of mobility. The steps now are 7.5 minutes of, like I said, crunches, 7.5 minutes of squats. You're done. And I'm doing this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You're done. You increase when you're ready to increase, but set the vision, make the vision, keep it plain. And I see, some of us get into the diet thing. Be honest about it. You skim back the way you feel you need to skim back. So I love tea. I drink Lipton black tea every day. And I scaled back. So instead of having the white sugar, I went to the brown sugar. And so with the brown sugar, you could use less of it. So now I'm using less of it. I have to be honest with myself. I'm not cutting the sugar out. That's just me. I don't care how much people, the sugar, you got to be careful. People, you take things at your own pace. So now I'm at brown sugar. From brown sugar, I'm probably going to go to honey. But we're going to work on that, right? We're going to work on that. So it's really thinking about what needs to change, small steps for the vision. And then you create and cut out images of what this fitness looks like. And then you may find a beautiful picture of women on the bikes in or running a marathon, or you put that on your vision board. This is where I'm going to get to right here. This is what it looks like as if it already happened. We have faith, family, friends, finance, fitness. Now some fun. I want you to come up with what that fun vision looks like. What is something for fun for you? Not you and your kids, not you and your man, not you and this. What's fun for you? And if you want to include others in on your fun vision, all the better. But what's fun for you? What's the fun thing that you want to include and infuse in your 2025? What's the fun thing? How can you add some fun into your life? Today is a great way to start. The vision board, it should be a fun thing. You get offline here, you go grab some magazines or clippings and words and affirmations. You put your board out, you turn your music on, and you work on your vision. Your kids want to do it, they can do theirs too. That'll be amazing. But you work on your vision board. I have to fill in my vision board. I have to fill in mine. As big as it is, I have to fill in mine. So I'm gonna lay it out, set my music. I'm giving myself the attention of the next, after we get off, the next 30 to 45 minutes just to work on it. Just to work on it. And then I'll get to the other household duties. The laundry still needs to be washed. The dishes still need to be cleaned. The floor is going to still need to be mopped. It's these things. But what am I doing for me? And now I lay out my vision. I say, this 45 minutes is for me. I'm focusing on, I'm playing my music and I'm working on what this vision looks like. And if you don't have your images just yet, get you some sticky notes, put it on the board. And if you got to use your wall as a vision board, by all means do it. But remember, we have faith, your area for your faith. You have family. You create an area of what that vision and intention looks like for your family. You have your friends. What does that look like? Girls trip, guys trip, faith, family, friends, finances. What does that look like? Fitness, you'll have a section for your fitness. And now you can look at your vision board and you can say, these are intentional goals. On top of that, we had the audacity to do what most don't, which is to create an action and a step for each vision. An action and a step for each vision. We're not just focusing on getting healthy. What does that mean? What does it look like? And what are the steps we took to get there? And so now you're able to really celebrate yourself, because you'll look back at your vision board months from now as you continue to work on it, and you look at it and you'll say, I see the results. I see the results because I did these steps to this action for this intention, and now I know what it looks like. We want to get to what it looks like, but we have to, the vision of it is as if we are already there. You already have the promotion. You already have saved the money. You already have that 750 credit score. But the beauty of it is looking at the steps we took to get there. The steps we took to get there was we got some credit support help. The steps we took to get there is we watched our balance, our credit card balances. The steps we took there, we were able to pay off some of those credit cards. The steps we took was we were able to increase some of our credit limits. The steps we took, we were able to get secured credit cards that we used. The steps we took is that we were able to talk to a financial advisor. The steps we took, and now the actions towards that. We said, I'm going to put $10 to the side. It may be small to you, but you figure $10 to the side every time you turn around, and you putting that to the side to cover a debt or to clear out a balance. You'll see the changes. You'll see the changes. And that's all we need is intentional steps and actions to see our vision come to fruition. Because with this world of transition, we need to be extremely intentional about us, extremely intentional. We have to be the David for these Goliaths, right? For the weight loss or the weight gain or the healthy, or some of your for your fitness, it may be, what, I need to clean my liver. It may be I need to stop smoking or cut back. It's about taking these slow steps. It may be, what, I can't have that pina colada as often as I used to, because the sugar's adding up to the sides. I'm starting to see it on the thighs, right? So it's really looking at scaling back. And so when we have these intentions, you put them on the board. When we have these action steps, you put them on the board. When they have these set goals of what it should look like, what does the end goal look like, we put that on the board. And each thing has a meaning, and it adds a different energy when you go to create that vision board. So I'll repeat: faith, family, friends, finances, fitness, this and fun, the basics of creating a vision board. The basics. And if we could stick to the basics, do you know how much we can grow every single year? Do you know how we'll be able to see changes, not challenges, every single year? So everything can be going on chaotic around you. You stick to your intentions. You stay disciplined to your actions. You stay focused on your steps. Your world will look completely different than the world out there. Guaranteed. Ha, that'll preach. Right? And so just be intentional is all I'm saying. So thank you. How is everyone feeling? Where are we at with this? How's everyone doing?
I'm feeling amazing, and the comments have been amazing too. Thank you so much. Very powerful, as always. I feel much better going into this year. Was definitely feeling a little shaky, but as I was making my notes, I'm gradually rebuilding strength. This is about coming together in community and figuring out a vision for our personal lives, for ourselves collectively. People are going to feel energized. So thank you. I made my notes. I'm going to make the actual board later and get all the images together and do it with my sons. I know, my younger son has some goals and visions for himself to make the JV team next year. He wants to have some goals around grades and also some longer term goals that he shared with me. He wants to live in an apartment in Manhattan in his 20s after college for a few years. And I'm explaining like the choices you have to make, like you were saying, the steps along the way, right? So apartments in Manhattan are very expensive. So what are the steps you need to make and the decisions you need to make between now and then so that you can afford an apartment in Manhattan, right? So one thing I wanted to ask you, like in the vision board party, we focus on this year, right? We're mostly focused on 2025, but how do you balance creating a vision for this year with your longer term vision in terms of the images on your board? Are you thinking about the longer term, or are you mainly focused on what you want to accomplish in 2025?
You're looking at the longer term, but the steps now that would add to the longer term. Right. So this is just a piece of the longer term, but if we're intentional in those steps now in 2025, that'll get us closer to the longer term. That would help out. I like to take bite-sized pieces, and so the longer term for me is December 31st, right? So it's like, let me just get to December 31st and see what I need to shift. But then there's also that overall 3-year, what does the next 3 years look like for me?
Yes.
And what do I need to do now to prepare in advance for that 3 years to really, really happen better than I expected?
Exactly. So I just wanted to encourage everyone to think long term.
Yes.
When you're doing this. A concrete example I always give, everyone wants to lose weight, right? So you say you want to lose 30 pounds, but you can't lose 30 pounds without losing 5 pounds. So just take it in 5-pound increments and make that your goal over a period of time. And, all of life works that way. So where do you want to see yourself in the long term, and what steps do you need to take this year. I remember before you used to do the 30-day, 60-day,
30,
90-day.
60,
What do you
90.
need to do in the
Yep.
first 60 days, 30
Yep.
days, 60 days, 90 days to get
Yep.
to where you want to be and tracking it that way?
Yep.
Yes. So thank you so much. People are saying they're feeling motivated, energized. This is such a
Good.
blessing.
Good.
Always. We look forward to continuing. And yeah, we should try to figure out how to do it hybrid next year, virtual and
Yep.
in person. Let's
Yes.
put that on our vision board and have you somewhere in person with a group of women together.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. I love you ladies. I love the moms, and this is we're in this together. So don't be ashamed to lean on your village inside the group. Lean on your village to work on that vision.
Absolutely. And we need the village more than ever right now. So as we're trying to figure out how to reset in this moment for Mob United, I really want to lean into that. How can we be more in community and more a source of support for each other? Because we have all the power and all the answers within ourselves. We don't have to go outside our community for that. So how do we rely on each other more in this moment?
Absolutely.
And we're going to be coming back to you, Miss Lucinda, for support and help.
Absolutely. Count me in. I'm there.
Yes. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again soon. Stay tuned for what's coming up next and have a wonderful, wonderful new year. Happy 2025. Bye.